Jonathan Lemire. And I remember during the Trump administration saying that everybody was going to line up and they were going to write their books about how I won the war, how I stopped Donald Trump from doing even worse things. And certainly the former Secretary of Defense has come under criticism in this book. But I must say, I'm of two minds. Yes, maybe you should have spoken out a little bit earlier. But as you know, these are great. These are things we can file away and look at. And it really gives us a much better perspective about what happened, especially in that final year. And so many things of what Mark Esper wrote here, it's going to be studied for many years to come by historians, along with all the other books that were written, as they try to figure out what safeguards to put in place when you have somebody who is as out of control as Donald Trump in a position of power where he doesn't want to give up the presidency.
Yeah, no shortage of books from Trump administration officials. Former Defense Secretary Esper, of course, today. We had former Attorney General William Barr. His book came out recently. In the weeks ahead, Kellyanne Conway, Jared Kushner, they've got books coming out. And I do think, though, that, yes, instructive and valuable for the future. And I think also a case can be made that there are moments. Every time a Trump official has come out with a book or later revealed in an interview about something that happened, there is that pushback. Well, why didn't you say this now? And also, why did you stay? If you were so opposed to what was happening in the administration, why did you stay? And I think those who worked on the political side don't really have a good answer. But someone like an Esper, and we'll obviously talk to him shortly, but an Esper or others, like this is always the version we heard from former Defense Secretary Mattis, former National Security Advisor McMaster, and those of that ilk, is they felt an obligation to stay to the country, that it was their duty to put up some guardrails, and that they were the ones, they were willing to take the criticism, like, hey, how could you work for this guy? Because they felt like, well, if we weren't here, things as bad as they are now, things would be much worse. That's a different story for those trying to achieve their political games. But certainly in the national security sphere, that's the argument they've made. It'll be interesting to hear what the defense secretary has to say when he's on in a few minutes.
Absolutely. Well, and you know, it's a good argument. I mean, Mika, I know you interviewed Deborah Birx a couple of weeks ago, and my gosh, she got absolutely skewered while she was still in the White House. But, you know, I looked at her even at that time and said she's in an extraordinarily difficult position because, yes, she's working for a guy who's denying basic science, right? But who follows her. And sure enough, when she finally had enough and when she left, then we started dealing with Scott Atlas, who was just absolutely heinous, gave Donald Trump everything he wanted to hear, and was an absolute clown. And you could say the same thing about Dan Coats. After Dan Coats finally left, the clowns that followed him were absolutely frightening. The fact that they were involved in our intelligence community, at the head of our intelligence community, was frightening. So, yeah, it's not as simple as a lot of people on Twitter like to say.
No,
it
it's
is.
Definitely not. And I agree with you on that. It's just when you hear these stories and, you know, I think you're right. If they make money on a book, they make money on a book. It's good to have the record for history. I agree with you on that, right, Joe. But I will say, when you hear story after story of what it appears to be people who work directly under Trump feeling like he was making decisions that were crazy, let's put it that way,
right,
or saying things that were crazy, there's got to have been a better way. And that's what I want.
What do you mean?
There has to be a better way to deal with a circle around a president where everybody in that circle is concerned the person is not well or is making crazy decisions or has other ambitions rather than duty toward country. Let's put it that way. Let's put it kindly. And I want to know, was that ever discussed? Did people ever come together and say, this guy is a whack job and wants to bomb Mexico?
Well, what
do we do?
They did from the start, actually. They did from the start, and that's one of the things that what Secretary Esper talked about in the book is that he got together with General Milley, and they did their best.
They had their nose
to set up their nose, to set up their guardrails, and for the most part, it worked. It's just like General Mattis and General Kelly at the very beginning had a sort of mutually assured destruction pact, where they were going to lock arms and stay together in there and try to push back on the worst of all ideas. And I know General Kelly had some ideas that were deeply offensive to a lot of people, and Mark Esper may have done things deeply offensive. Again, we're talking though about the difference between a situation that's not good but stable, and a situation that where things just absolutely fall through the floor.